Is time slower in dreams? Okay, so I'm going to answer that for you, but first of all, if you're having a little bit of deja vu, I have answered this question before. It's just I keep getting this question a lot, and so I wanted to make this video to try and get the answer to those people who are still looking for it. So the short answer is no, time is not slower in dreams, but the long answer is a little bit more complicated than that. You see, time does not appear to go any slower in dreams. We've actually studied this, where we got someone to essentially count while they were in a dream, while they were lucid, and have someone measure the rate at which they were counting and see if it actually matched up with real-world time. It in fact did match up perfectly, suggesting that time is flowing exactly at the same rate as during waking life. Real quick, future Matt here in editing, and I just want to make a clarification on that. So the research that I was talking about was from Stephen LaBerge in 1985, where he found a match-up between counting in a dream and counting while awake. But actually, I believe the latest study on this actually found that counting happened ever so slightly slower in a dream, as did other activities like performing squats or walking. So time certainly doesn't appear to be passing slower. In fact, that would suggest that it was passing faster. Although at the same time, I don't think we can conclude this either. I think it's more likely that we're simply performing tasks a bit slower because we're asleep still and our brain might not be at full capacity. But anyway, just wanted to clear that up. Let's get back to the rest of the video. Now, someone could argue that in this experiment, someone was specifically counting out the time, and so maybe that had some effect on the end result. But I think that based on my own experiences, this is correct, that time isn't, passing slower in a dream, but it can appear to pass slower in some cases, which is why I said that the answer is no, it doesn't pass slower, but it's a bit more complicated than that. So there is something known as time dilation. Now, this doesn't mean that time is slowing down, but it means that the perception of time can slow down. And this can happen for various reasons. Sometimes this can just be because you're getting so much done that you finish what you're doing and you're like, wow, I got all of that done, it must have been hours. And then you look at the clock and it's only been 1 hour, you were just working really fast and efficiently. And I think this actually gives a clue to how time dilation tends to function in dreams. Because in dreams, you do exactly that. You tend to get a lot done in dreams compared to waking life. And part of the reason for that is just how dreams are constantly shifting around you. So when you want to go from point A to point B in the real world, if those locations are far away, you have a long journey ahead of you. You might spend hours, maybe even like days, trying to get from point A to point B. But that doesn't happen in a dream. In a dream, even if you're going from country to country, the entire process of traveling there, even if you do experience yourself getting on a plane or whatever, somehow it all goes very, very quickly, and like 2 minutes later, you're at your destination. But because your brain knows that it takes a long time to travel from this point A to point B, when you actually reflect back on the memory of that dream later, then you're not going to think, hey, I was on the plane for 2 minutes. And your dreams can also leave things out a lot of the time. So you might actually travel to a destination and you have the recollection that you went from point A to point B, but when you actually probe your memory, you realise there's no memory of the journey itself. You were at point A and then you were at point B, and you remember deciding to go there, and you remember going there, but you don't actually remember the going part. You just remember the, hey, I'm going there, and then you remember the, hey, I'm arriving here. As an example of this, I just recorded a video about a dream that I had last night, in which some people were cutting down my trees in my garden. And at one point in my dream, I left my room to go out to the garden to chase them off. But here's the thing, I remember that decision to go out to the garden, and I got to the garden, but I have no recollection of actually moving through my house. I was in my room and then I was outside in my garden. And it's not possible to just phase through the wall into my garden. So obviously my brain just decided, hey, I don't need to actually experience any travel, I'm just going to be there right away and feel like I've travelled there. And this happens a lot in dreams, and it can lead to time dilation because you have these memories of doing things like I had the recollection of going from point A to point B. It's just I didn't actually do that. There was no journey. But because I recall the start and the finish, the journey itself is implied, and so it feels like I've done more. And on top of this, I feel like dreams have more key memories. Now, I'm just making up this phrase just as a way to describe very vivid, important events that occur that we remember. So when you're going through your day-to-day life, I've used this analogy to explain it before. You will remember key events. You don't remember, or at least most people who don't have a photographic memory don't remember, every single event of your day. Even yesterday, you do not remember 100% of yesterday. You remember maybe 90% of it, but there are going to be gaps in that memory that you just don't realize are there because they were very unimportant. They were like walking down the stairs to use the bathroom, or sitting at your computer procrastinating for 10 minutes while you decided what to do. Little parts of your day are going to disappear from your memory. And you remember the day and the sequence of events because your brain sort of picks out all of these key important events and just puts it together like a puzzle. And from that you can sort of imply the rest of the day. And that's also how you can, for example, reflect on an entire decade. It's not like you have 10 years worth of memories just sitting in there, because much of that decade is now gone from your memory. But you do remember the key events. You remember getting married or having your kid, or you remember the people that you dated or the countries that you went on holiday to. You have all of these vivid memories, and a lot of less vivid but still quite vivid memories, and then some slightly less vivid ones, but all of the not so vivid, unimportant memories are the bits that fade away. But because you have those key memories, those are like anchors that just allow you to have the whole story, the whole picture of what actually happened. Now, when you have a dream, because so much crazy stuff is going on, you can have a dream where you get married, you fight a dragon, you fight off an alien invasion, and then you go to Egypt and, don't know, build a pyramid or something, and you can have that all happen in 15 minutes. And that's the kind of thing that, if it somehow managed to happen in a real human day-to-day life on Earth, then it would probably be over the course of 40 years or something, not over 10 minutes. And so when you have all of these crazy events happening really quickly, it feels like a lot more time has passed, simple as that. Especially because your brain is doing the thing that it always does. When your brain looks back at those 10 years of your memories, it doesn't have a full 10 years of memories to rely on. But because it can piece together all the bits and roughly how far apart they were, it can imply the rest. So when your brain does the same thing with your dreams, it has all of these vivid key memories inside that 10-minute block. It implies a much longer totality than what you actually experienced. Hopefully this answers the question. So no, your dreams aren't going to last longer than waking life, but you can get more done in a sense in them, so they can feel like they last longer. Now, if you want to learn more about lucid dreaming, be sure to check out my complete book, The Lucid Dream Book. There'll be a link in the top right hand corner and down in the description below. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and enable all notifications so you can stay up to date with my new videos when they come out. And if you want to keep watching, check out one of those videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care.